Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome live. Episode 2, Legends Weekly. Hopefully we have another great show today. We got a lot in store for you, so be ready for it. We're going to start off tonight with our one of our big sponsors. We have the First In, Last Out, CPR and First Aid. Huge sponsor for this organization. Remember, when seconds count, First In, Last Out, and CPR and First Aid will keep you in the game. Call 513-808-3539. Tell them the Legends sent you, and get your company or team ready with First In and Last Out, CPR and First Aid.
Those guys are outstanding, so they take care of us.
So Wes, let's go tonight. Let's talk about, right out of the gate, we're going to talk about some young guys.
Yeah, I love
the 8U
Nickting
team
yep.
and the 9U Combs team. I know 8U Nickting is 8-7 right now.
Yep.
They're coming on slow.
Yep.
And steady, like we talked about last week, nice and easy.
Yep.
And the 9U the same way.
Yep.
I'll let you take it away because you know a lot more about those young guys than I do.
Sure. So the 8U Nickting team, I know, I was out at a couple games last week. They were actually rained out this weekend in their local tournament. I think they were 1-1 or 2-0 in pool play, and then the rest of the weekend got rained out. But that's a good team. They play a good schedule, and you know about that age is we're all about the reps and the practice. So they got a good group.
You really can't get enough reps in practice. I mean, individually and as a core group.
Correct.
I mean, you have to. It's the constant repetition. It's the constant situational drills.
Yep.
Base running drills.
Bunting, bunt defense.
Because and we've even said it at the 15U, 16U ages. If the coaches are yelling at you on the field to do something, it's too late.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's what practice is for.
Perfect. All right.
9U Combs, I know, is playing tonight, I believe, unless their game was rained out.
Okay.
So we'll give updates throughout the night on Coach Combs. I'll get my phone out.
Yeah, if we get any updates, we'll definitely send them your way. All right, so let's move on.
Yeah, 10U Cattlemen. Yep. They were down in E-Town, I know. We had three groups in E-Town. We had 10U Cattlemen, 12U Chapman, and 13U Davis. We're all down in E-Town. I think we had a pretty good showing down there.
Representing the Cincy Legends.
Yep.
Very well. Don't mistake them for the Louisville Legends, which I do believe our
somebody
teams
played
beat up on quite a bit. So, Cattlemen's group, 25-7 record.
Yep.
So some big wins in there.
Yep.
Like you said, they had a solid showing in E-Town. They went 3-2 at the Ripken event with 2 one-run losses.
Yeah,
so close, tight games, including losing to the number 1 seed in the semis. Unfortunately, so they had a top 4 finish.
Yep. Those guys live in the top 4.
Right. They picked up wins versus tough Louisville Vipers and Southeastern Crush teams.
Yep. Those Vipers teams are usually pretty good.
They had some player of the game honors to a lot of their young men, which we have to mention. Carter Drost, Knox Casey, William Cattleman, and Will Gertz, I believe is how you say his name.
All 4 of those guys are really good players. That doesn't surprise me in the least.
Yeah, so I mean, big time all game honors for them guys is awesome.
Yeah, I agree. And that's a good group, the whole group.
So last week, the 10U Legends also did something here back home. They went and played up in the gold bracket of the Southwestern, the Swole League.
Yep.
Swole League play, Southwest Ohio League. And they had they were undefeated West Stars team until they faced the Legends.
Yeah.
And
locally, that 10U Cattlemen team's hard to deal with.
Oh, so they knocked off the undefeated West Stars team. I believe it was 11-1.
Oh yeah.
So they got a little bit of easy week of practice and stuff like that. Getting back on the horse.
They'll work.
They're going to have a midweek matchup against a tough Midland team, and then some much needed and much deserved R&R. They're going to get some rest. Let them guys regroup.
Yeah, all our teams got to recover. That's as important as anything we do.
For sure. So let's move on to another quick sponsor that we have here that we're very fortunate to have. Mr. David L. Davidson of Huff Realty.
Definitely.
For all your real estate needs, give David a call. His number is 513-839-0281, or you can email David at ddavidson@huff.com. David, thank you so much.
I believe he was our very first sponsor.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, David, if you're watching, and I hope you are, thank you so much.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
So let's move on. We're moving right up the list here to the team we talked about quite a bit last week, the 11U Ryan team. I think they took some time off.
They did a lot of practice, a lot of reps,
For sure. A lot of rest this week, which, again, is much needed. These guys need they're young kids, and sometimes they even need to just get away from baseball.
Yeah.
And be a kid.
Yeah, go shoot a basketball.
Right.
Go ride a bike.
Play some Xbox.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
But be a kid and stay out of trouble.
Well, of course.
But,
what do you want?
Right. But they're going to get their rest and relaxation this week.
Yep.
And then they're headed to the big K Sports Kings Midsummer Classic.
Yep.
So a big tournament for those young men.
Yeah, no, they'll handle business. I have no doubt.
Hey, Coach Ryan, I have no doubt he'll have those dudes ready.
Yeah.
And the Legends are bringing home a ring this week. I
like
it now.
our chances for sure.
So another 11U team. You guys know we have two 11U squads.
Yeah, it's a really good age group for us.
We have 11U coached by Dan Bell. They're 18-9-2. Some big games. I think we announced it on the show last
Shockers
week.
Game, yeah.
They beat the Shockers 19-3. Big game.
Yeah.
Bats were alive. Caden Calhoun.
I told you about him, man. The kid's a beast.
Dude, he hit another home run this week. He smashed his 5th home run of the season going over the Green Monster out there at that Crawford Woods Park.
Yeah, hopefully they went to Flubs after.
Big shot. And what is this dude teaching? Bell's got these guys swinging.
Yeah.
Zach Wesner hit a grand slam over the right field fence.
Z can swing it, man.
I mean, dudes are getting after it. Straight up hitting.
Yeah.
They travel over to Kentucky today or tomorrow, and they play against the Yalls. So it's either today or tomorrow. My notes say tomorrow, but I also wrote my notes last night.
Right. So we'll be checking.
Could
we
be
may be
tomorrow.
updating you on that as well.
And they are also going to be playing in the Kings Midsummer Classic this weekend. So
how dope would it be if we had 11U versus 11U in the final?
Oh, hey, legend on legend violence.
Yeah.
As long as it's at the end, I'm cool with it.
100%.
So before we move further into our broadcast, we like to get these sponsors some recognition. Our dude Dave. Dave Quality Meats of Westchester. I'm telling you what, I fired up the Blackstone today. I sent you a picture of it.
Yeah, look good, man.
Got some of our stuff from Dave over there. Man, if you're firing up the smoker, the Blackstone, the grill, go visit Dave at DQM. Tell him the Legends.
You won't be sorry.
You will not be sorry. You will be ready for the best barbecue of your life.
Yep, I would.
So get over to DQM. Tell them the Legends sent you, and get ready for summer.
Yep.
All right. So now the man of the hour. We actually have some of his dudes over there.
Yeah, over here playing a game of wiffle ball.
They can't get enough of baseball practice. Coach Chappie just put his boys through one of the most intense practices I've seen indoors in a long time. And they can't get enough. Now they're playing wiffle ball.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to get a couple of these dudes over here in a minute. But first, let's give a rundown of what they've done so far.
They were also one of our teams down in E-Town.
Correct.
And, that Ripken experience is a really high-level tournament, and these dudes represented.
For sure. They're 21-7-1. They just left E-Town where they went 2-2, had some tough, hard-fought games.
Both losses to an elite team, coached by ex-Red Austin Kearns.
Absolutely. They lost 2 to the Lexington. I believe they're called the Lexington. So again, who were coached by the former Reds right fielder Austin Kearns, who played at Lafayette High School in Lexington, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe you're right.
But they put the beat down on the Louisville Legends. They beat them twice down there.
Nothing against you, Louisville Legends, guys.
No, we love we do love all Legends.
Yeah.
But they beat them once off of Camden Sproul's walk-off single after being down. Sproul, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
After being down by 4, so they're not giving up. They're staying in every game.
Yeah, these dudes fight. Look at them; they're about to fight.
Right, and I believe, and I'm gonna look at Coach Chappie over here to get the nod, but I believe Camden hit over 500 this weekend, and he is nodding yes. So, dude, huge weekend and a
Sproul, get over here.
So we're going to try to bring in Sproul, get him over here for an interview, and here he comes sprinting. He's ready for the camera.
What is that shirt? Okay, I had to check it.
He's got to get his dudes on first, though.
Hey dudes, it's camo. Hey dudes.
So bear with us for a moment. Yeah, have a seat there, big guy.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about the walk-off, bro.
First, you got to introduce yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Look right into that red light there and introduce yourself.
My name is Camden Sprout, and I'm a catcher and outfielder on 12U Chapman.
Let's go.
What number do you wear?
Number 19.
Number. There's a couple good number 19s in the history of baseball, I think.
Yeah.
Why do you wear it? Votto?
Because I was born on September 19th.
Hey.
And I like Joey Votto.
I like this. I always wore number 24 because I was born on the 24th. So, and I love Ken Griffey Jr. So, being a catcher is near and dear, and you've got one of the best catching coaches in the whole state of Ohio, easily.
Yep.
So
tell us a little bit about the walk-off, man.
So, Christian got intentionally walked.
Of course, because he's a beast.
The bases were loaded.
Those guys didn't know what they were about to do.
And, well, I was just trying to, there was 2 outs. I was just trying to put the ball somewhere that, could score a runner.
Yeah, make some magic happen. See what?
And there was a pitch. The previous at-bat, I struck out on the pitch inside.
Yeah.
But then that walk-off, it was a pitch I struck out on.
Made an adjustment. Weren't going to get beat by that pitch. That's why our dudes
I got to ask you, because I can feel the confidence coming off of you right now. Was there any doubt in your mind that you were putting that ball in play and getting your team to win? You're supposed to say no.
But you can be
no doubt. No doubt. You always got to be confident, man. Always. So, man, heck of a weekend. What do you guys have next?
We have an off weekend.
All right.
Then we're going to Indianapolis.
All right,
You guys are going to be heading. I think you guys do have a midweek game coming up, or a one friendly game versus PYO.
They canceled.
Oh, they canceled today. So you guys will have the week off, which is good. Get that rest and relaxation.
Yep.
Take care of your body and get healthy.
Hey, congratulations.
Can't wait to see you on the diamond. I can't wait to see you back on Legends Weekly, buddy.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
What a dude.
Yeah,
what a
he's
dude.
Good player, man. They got a roster full of them.
So that was our first
Live
Legends
interview.
Weekly player interview.
Let's go.
And I'm telling you what, next week we're going on the road. 15U's going to Missouri.
Yeah, University of Missouri.
So we have to interview some of our dudes because we're going to be on the road. And they got an uphill battle, man.
Yeah, that's a tough act to follow, right?
You're just not going to outdo that.
I agree.
All right. So next sponsor, you've been seeing it all stream long.
The best.
Bonnie Water.
The best.
I mean, these people have come through for us time and time again here in the hot facility, talking to Coach Chapby, said, we don't have air yet, but at least we got heat in the wintertime. But since we don't have hair, we got the Pawnee water. It's pure premium alkaline water. Thank you, Pawnee, for all that you do, keeping us hydrated. We really appreciate it. And having said that,
have yourself a little flavor.
No doubt. All right. So let's move on. We got a good topic conversation here.
Oh yeah.
We're actually going to bring in 2 of our Legends players, so we might have to spread out a little bit. Have them bring over another stool, and we're going to talk about some things that are very important in our summer baseball action. So first, here to my left, we have Caleb McCombs.
Yep.
And then we have Lucas, the Cheetah Reader.
Yep.
Also on the 15U squad. You always go ahead and introduce yourselves, even though I already did it.
I'm Caleb McComas. I'm a catcher, pitcher, and an outfielder for 15U Reader.
And do you play high school baseball anywhere?
I play high school baseball at Elder High School.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Lucas Reader. I'm a first baseman. I play a little bit of third.
Yeah, he does.
And I like the DH. I pitch a little bit too.
Yeah.
I also I go to Summit Country Day for high school.
Yep, and Lucas played varsity at Summit this year. And Caleb JV and was an absolute dog on the mound.
Outstanding. You guys both coming off high school seasons. We talked about this last week, the transition from high school baseball into summer baseball. It's basically 2 seasons, learning 2 different styles a lot of times, and not always easy.
Yeah.
But you guys are already expected to be in mid-season form because we're playing in big tournaments. So one of the things we would like to talk to both of you about, because you both pitch, and Lucas, like it or not, you both do catch. You're a dog back there behind the plate. Don't let this guy fool you. But since you both pitch and you both have drastically different styles of pitching, we want to talk about the difference and the importance of velocity versus location. And we can go back all the way through Major League Baseball, talk about Nolan Ryan.
Yep.
High velocity, and my man can locate as well.
Yeah, he developed that later in his career.
But then you bring it down to the man, Greg Maddox.
Correct.
Who could, 60 feet 6 inches away, he could hit a dime on a string anywhere you put it.
Yep.
So there's always this talk of velocity versus location, and I want to get your guys' opinion on it before we go to Coach West.
I have the first on that. I believe that location is 10 times more important than velo because, as you go in the game, you throw 100 miles an hour, that's going to be very difficult to time up. But once you get the barrel to it, it's going to go a long way. But when you get when you get a guy like Greg Maddox, he throws every single pitch where he wants to throw it, and that makes it 10 times harder to load. That makes it 10 times harder to barrel up.
And you know that as a hitter as well.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
Correct. Now, having said that, you are one of the harder throwers on our team. You've hit 84 on the radar gun a time or two. You probably live around 81. So you're throwing hard, but you're talking about that location.
Yep.
Which
Right?
he's
Absolutely.
exceptional at. Both these guys are exceptional
So
locations.
now, Lucas, you don't throw with that heavy velocity. You're more of a mid to high 70s guy, but
with some spin.
with some spin, and you locate as well. So what are your feelings on velocity versus location?
I don't throw very hard, as you can tell, but I like to locate it, and that gets my batters out. I think location compared to velocity, like if you can locate the ball well, the batters are going to get themselves out. But if you throw velocity,
Well said.
You might be able to blow it by them, but they'll eventually time it up, and they're going to be able to hit it.
A lot harder.
Yeah.
So real quick, my thoughts on velocity versus location is your more high velocity pitchers are going to be your strikeout leaders.
Yeah.
Your locating guys are going to have a lot of ground ball outs, maybe some lazy fly ball outs.
Yep.
Now, as a coach,
Sure.
as a pitching coach, and as a former college pitcher, what do you prefer, and how do you look at it?
Well, I would say preference is varying. So, what I would prefer is elite velocity and elite control, right? But that's a hard thing for guys to do. This dude is exceptional at it. He throws hard, he locates well. This guy doesn't throw as hard, locates spectacularly. We have a couple other arms that are mid to upper 80s, and they have their strengths and weaknesses as well. Location is always probably a little more paramount, especially at this age. Velocity may get noticed sooner, but there's a lot of things that come with velocity, like higher spin rates, more ride, more run, which makes it a little harder to control. So those guys that you can find that can do both are exceptional. That's why at the young ages, we really preach fastball location and changeup location, because before puberty hits, it's really irrelevant. I'd rather them learn how to pitch and then develop the arm the route we do as they hit puberty and beyond.
Man, really, 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 really well said, Coach.
Thank you.
And now that's going to take us into our next little topic here. The versatility of players on a summer baseball team, and again, versus high school baseball. I know some of these kids on their high school teams are asked to do one, maybe two things.
Yeah.
And then others are asked to do a little more, but you have a lot of specialty players, guys that only catch, guys that only pitch, guys that only play shortstop. Now, you both talked about playing multiple positions. Caleb, I know you've primarily caught, pitched, you play first base and some right field, occasionally left field, and you've dabbled at the third base a little bit. Lucas, you play a lot of third base, a lot of first base. You're a backup catcher, a pitcher, and I mean, I think if asked, you could also play the corner spots in the outfield. Am I correct in thinking that?
Yeah, with his hand
So
eye.
now we want to talk about the versatility and how important. What does it mean to you going in, knowing you can look at your coach, and if he says, "Hey, I need a dude," you can be like, "I'm your dude." How does that feel?
To me, it feels very, it feels very special to me because, as a coach, standpoint, correct me if I'm wrong, it is very easy to tell a kid that is just a catcher only or a pitcher only, hey, you're not catching today, you're just going to sit, or you're not going to pitch today, somebody else is. But for a guy like me or Lucas who plays a ton of different positions, how do you find time to bench that player? Because you have a kid that catches. Oh, we give him a break. Oh, he can play the outfield, so we can throw him in the outfield. Oh, we can put him at first base. It makes it very hard for a coach to bench that player.
Or not necessarily even benching. It's hard to keep him out of the lineup.
Exactly.
Without a doubt.
Exactly. That's what I was meaning.
We take pride in these dudes, and the 15U team, and I know the 16U team similar, but we have baseball players. We breed baseball players, not necessarily kids who play baseball. And our 15U team, they can all play multiple positions. And here's what we kind of learned this year is some of these guys were able to make it up to the JV and varsity levels in positions that maybe they hadn't played much, but they were able to do it and succeed at a high level. I mean, our 15U team, the numbers some of those guys put up were awe-inspiring.
And again,
it's because they're baseball players.
One of the most versatile teams I've ever been around. And Lucas, you mentioned as being a DH. And it brings a smile to your face. I know you. This dude hit a ball off of a kid down in North Carolina this year. I believe he was throwing like mid 90s, 94ish, and was the only kid on his team to like barrel one up.
Freshman.
Was it a double?
Yep.
Smokes a double off this dude, and I was like, that guy ain't got nothing. But here's the thing: as a DH guy, you're on the bench the majority of the game. You know, you come up 3 times, maybe 4 times in a game. How do you do that and stay involved in the game and not get down? Like, oh, my job is a DH today. I don't get to play the field, but I still have to impact, so I still got to remain positive. How do you go about that?
So, like, as a DH, you know you're going to get a hit, so your time's going to be up, but you got to understand that you're going to have to look at the pitcher, you know, time him up, and then you're also going to have to help your teammates out, get pop times, like with a stopwatch, or find out, like, how fast that guy is to the plate, that pitcher to the plate. And you're going to have to time them up and help your dudes out hitting, but also fielding. In the field, you got to tell your players, you know, this guy hit the left field this time. You know, maybe scoot over to the left a little bit more in the outfield. So just things like that.
And now when you're DHing, will you go down into the bullpen and warm up another pitcher? Yeah. And will you go out to the outfield like in between innings and warm up guys?
Yep.
You do all it. Well, I mean, even sometimes have to go back behind the plate and warm up the pitcher while the catcher's getting dressed, right? Yep. So all those things, very important things.
Oh, without a doubt. And we say it a lot, you know, especially to our guys. Find a way to impact this baseball game. It may be with the bat. It may be on the mound. It may be on the base pass. It may be getting pop times for us and pitchers to the plate times for us. There's a lot of ways to impact the game. It's not always just with the bat, just with the glove, there's a lot of ways, and it is our job as players and as coaches to find the way to impact the game and do it.
You know, something interesting too, and we've been around a lot of teams at a lot of different ages, some that our kids have played for, some that we've coached, and some that we've just watched. And every kid on every team, whether you're carrying 12, 13, 14 kids, they're competing for a spot.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone wants to be that starting guy.
Yep.
And watching our dudes, like, I've been doing the Game Changer this year in streams, and watching our dudes root for the next guy.
Yeah.
Like, they want, like, Ricky and Caleb catch primarily every game.
Right.
And when the one's not catching, he's rooting for the other dude to be great. And when Lucas is not playing first base and Liam is, he's rooting for Liam to be great. And because that makes the team better and you have a lot more success.
Yes,
correct.
Without a doubt. Yep.
Yeah. So guys, thank you. You guys did a
Thank
great
you.
job. You're nowhere near as handsome as that young man we had on before, Camden.
Good looking dude.
But you guys will do.
Yeah. Hey, whoa.
I apologize.
Trying to steal our chairs.
Thank you, boys.
Some good interviews.
Yeah, we
good
got some
topics.
dudes. Yeah, we got some guys.
So, you know, now moving on, we're getting into the show a little further. I mean, we're 20 minutes in, and it's been action-packed.
Oh, yeah.
So, we're waiting.
We bring the heat, man.
Right, and I'm feeling it.
Yeah, it's
you know,
hot.
we're bringing in Chappie's team just left.
Yeah, 15
new
readers
getting ready to come in.
Yeah.
It was nice of those dudes to come in early so that they could talk with us. But so while we're waiting on the other dudes to come in for practice, let's talk about 13U.
Oh, yeah.
We'll start with Coach Blanton's team. They are 15 and 14. Again, we talked about last week some of the toughest competition around.
Yeah,
that
they don't duck anybody.
Man. They finished with another top 4. 2-2 record at the PBR Great Lakes Underclassmen Tournament up in Toledo.
Yeah,
huge tournament.
Yeah.
At the plate, I gotta talk about these guys.
Yeah. They have some hitters.
They had dudes that were getting it done. Anderson Thorne.
Yeah, good player.
Ryan Domingo.
Great player.
Cade Blanton.
Yeah.
Is it Cooper?
Chili.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
I think he homered, didn't
he? Hit a home run up there.
Oh,
so representing with the bat, and we're going to talk about him later in a special segment.
All right.
And then we had Brady Ryan. All getting it done. Unfortunately, Coach Blanton said I could only have one to have the hitting performance of the weekend, and that's going to go to Cade Blanton, who was 8 for 12.
All right. Well, that's justified.
5 RBIs.
Yeah.
And 6 runs scored.
Yeah.
So getting it done. Their pitching was getting it done too. They had 2 pitchers to earn wins. I think Tice Barnett.
Yeah, Tice.
He had 3 innings pitched, gave up 2 earned runs with 2 strikeouts.
Okay.
And Domingo,
Yeah.
getting it done at the plate, but also getting it done on the
Rye's a
bunt.
really good player for us.
He pitched 3 innings of 2-hit baseball with 5 strikeouts.
Yeah, he's a good player. And he's one of those guys who possesses pretty good fastball and pretty good location.
Yeah, so, I mean, Coach Bland's team definitally getting done. We
Well
love
done,
seeing
boys.
it, and we look to see more in the future from those guys.
That's a good group.
So, next up,
Davis.
Coach Davis's team, 13U team, they were down in Ripken, correct?
Yes, they were. And actually had a really good week. They went 2-0 in pool play and received the 1 seed. And ended up losing in the semifinals to Vipers team, who those guys can usually play. We've run into them at the older age group. But I would say altogether a successful week. That dreaded 1 seed can come with a curse.
Yeah.
We've lost tournaments as the 1 seed. We've won tournaments as the 8 seed. So, once you get to bracket play, you see a different level of arms usually.
For sure.
And but those guys compete, man.
Another top 4 finish for a Legends team out of town.
Yeah.
I mean, they just keep that. You keep hearing. I mean, and you're not going to win them all. And
No.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We don't expect to, nor do we.
If you're in it to win every tournament and you're playing in lesser competition and you're winning every tournament, you're not doing anybody any favors if you want to get
And you're probably not
to the
the
next
legend.
step. Right.
Yeah.
So go to that tournament that's going to push you beyond your
Yeah,
limits.
test it.
And if you place in a top 4 in a tournament like that,
Feels pretty good.
that's what you're doing.
Yeah, feels
and
pretty good.
you want to win it.
Of course.
And yeah, you have a bad taste in your mouth, but that bad taste in your mouth is going to carry over to the practice field,
Yep.
make you work harder,
Should.
and produce better
Yeah,
results.
I agree. So well done, Coach Davis and the 13Us.
Very well done. Which that brings us to our next sponsor of the day.
Who is it this
It's
time?
going to be Mitch Edwards of Morgan Stanley.
Let's go. Thank
so
you,
if
Mitch.
if you need a financial advisor, please give Mitch a call. Tell him that Sean and Coach West sent you the Legends
Yep. He'll be
weekly.
like,
We're
all
talking
right.
about him. His phone number is 513-762-5223. Again, that's Mitch Edwards of Morgan Stanley. So again, thank you, Mitch, for all of your
Yeah, we
support.
really appreciate you, Mitch.
All right, so that's going to move us up in age group.
Let's
into
go.
our 14U. Which
Yeah.
again, we have 2 14U
Yeah, it's a good
squads.
class for us. We got a couple of really good classes.
So Coach Meyer's team, Coach Nick Meyer, they're 15 and 12.
Yep. They play a really tough schedule.
Yes,
It's a
they
really
do.
tough schedule.
Brutal schedule. And I know his son, Boston, he actually came up and played with us last year
Yes,
at the
he did.
end because we were down a couple players.
Yeah, in WWBA, I believe.
So he has his dudes ready to go all the time.
Yep. They've
ready
had to
get
deal
after
with
it.
some injuries, so.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. So Coach Meyer's team finished up the pastime tournament this weekend, another top 4 finish.
Yeah.
They lost in the semis on a walk-off, 2-1 loss.
Hey.
So a pitcher's duel.
A fantastic baseball
Yeah, it's
game.
not a walk fest.
Nah.
It's so and that was
Fantastic
they
game.
lost to an Ohio Elite team, which we know is always good.
Yeah, they
Ohio-
got some good teams, man. And, hey, listen, 2-1, that's a good baseball game. You're going to win half those.
for sure. And Coach said even though the bats were down this week, Quinn Wells still hit at a 467 clip
Yeah, it's a
with
good
a
play.
556 on base percentage, 6 runs scored, 6 stolen bases, and then Liam Cullingham also added some big hits
Let's go,
coming off the
Liam.
bench and big moments.
Yeah, he's got a nice lefty swing.
He said their pitching, however, was on fire.
yeah,
they were
they
dealing.
got some arms.
So Cohen Hill,
Yeah, Cohen, big, tall, strong kid, throws gas. So he's going to be a really good player for us.
7 innings pitched this weekend, 4 hits, no earned runs, 6 strikeouts.
Yeah.
And then Quinn Wells,
Quinn
he had
also.
5 1/3,
Yeah.
2 earned runs. Keep grinding. I mean, just
Yeah,
keep on
and
grinding.
he's doing it on both ends. I'm sure, is doing it on both ends. They've got a lot of 2-way, 3-way players. You know how they do it the
for
way.
sure. And I mean, you just keep on keeping on. And
Keep testing yourselves, man.
if the pitching stays elite, there's no doubt the bats are going to come around.
Yeah.
They will get
Yeah,
hot.
they got a lot of good players. They'll be fine.
All right, so
There was also 14U Phillips, who I believe played up in the Sandusky as well.
okay.
And,
And they're 2014 and 2.
Yeah, and they went up to They also play one of those tougher schedules. A lot of PBR events. So they went up to Sandusky. Actually, I got some video of them at the Toledo Mudhens game. But they went 3-0 in pool play. I believe beat a Warriors team who out of Michigan. That's a pretty good organization, and maybe earned the 2 seed. And I think they also lost in the semifinals.
Very
So-
impressive, though.
Yeah, and they had a couple dudes hit some home runs. They've got a couple. Actually, they've got a lot of really good players on that team, and it seems to be they're starting to play good baseball.
Outstanding. So now let's move on to your team, your Coach Reader,
Coach
Coach
Reader's
Price.
team.
Yeah, it's technically
our
Coach Reader's, but it's
Yeah.
the family.
Yeah.
It's Coach Reader, Coach Price, and Coach Milburn.
Yeah.
We're 4-3
Yeah.
right now. A little bit disappointing play this weekend. I think all the boys would tell you they were disappointed with the outcome.
Yeah, I
of
would
the
agree.
games.
We played up in a 16U tournament and
Went 2-2.
went 2-2. But that first game, we were up 7-1 against the team who ended up winning it, and we were up 7-1 in the sixth, and it just kind of got away from us, as games will occasionally do. Caleb McComas was actually dealing in that game. I think held him to 1 run through 5 innings.
I think he had 5 or 6 strikeouts.
Yeah. And we're playing up, but that one got away from us, and it was pretty disappointing. But playing up at that level, you're going to lose some of those games, and it was a tough lesson for these guys. But we're in PG this weekend, so it's time to get after it.
Right, and so talking about that tournament,
Yeah.
Game 2 kind of stood out. We were at Xavier University on the big field,
Yep.
college field. First time for some of these guys, maybe the second or third time for some other guys.
Yeah.
We started off Game 2, and it was almost like it was a hangover from Game 1.
Yep.
Losing on that walk-off. Gave up 5 runs early.
Yeah, in the first,
And
I believe.
my dude, Nolan,
Kid's a beast.
hunkered down. He plays for CHCA
Yeah.
in high school. He ended up throwing a complete game, winning 14-5.
Yep.
Had 5 strikeouts and 0 walks. And after that first inning, they weren't touching Nolan.
No,
he was on top of his game.
Yeah, he was, and we
And way to
then
battle back.
unleashed the bats. Yeah, you get down 5-0 after losing a game of, in that fashion, and those guys had every opportunity to quit. It's just not in that group's DNA.
Right, and so it was the first game of the morning, and I got to talk about this. Not Caleb McComas. He was hit 3 consecutive, hit by pitch 3 consecutive times.
Yep.
The third one broke his helmet. It hit his ear hole and broke the
Popped
helmet.
that thing.
So he borrows Price's helmet, comes in for his 4th plate
And
appearance,
Val hits one out.
and hit a 1-hop ground rule double over the wall. It was a 2 RBI, and that was kind of the nail in the coffin at that point. And but I got to mention also Ty Lovelace.
Yeah.
You're never going to find a guy that hustles harder, works harder,
the best
friendlier,
teammate, yeah.
best teammate. He hit a laser line drive to short, medium center field. Their center fielders playing kind of deep. It 1-hopped over his jumping, outstretched glove, went to the wall. Ty hustled around, stand up inside the park, home run.
Yeah.
And seeing the face he made coming across the plate was just everything that the Legends are about.
100%. And anybody that knows Ty knows that kid's been an elite hitter since he was about this tall. The kid was put on earth to smash baseballs, but nobody works harder. Nobody's a better teammate to these dudes, and you pull for guys like that.
Correct.
He's a dog.
So the fellas were putting some barrels on the ball. Just it wasn't, they didn't all come at the right time this weekend.
Yeah.
But they are hitting.
Yeah.
But I have to mention, topping the weekend off, the last game we go in, and it's one of those meaningless games. Easy to have a hangover. We know we're not moving on, and Liam McGady takes the bump.
Yeah.
All 6 foot,
5
of him with
Yeah.
15 shoes. He looks like he's got Noah's Ark on his feet.
Correct. Clown shoes.
He steps on the mound against a 5-star Midwest 16U team and does nothing short of throws a no-hitter.
Yeah,
and we went 13. No, Liam was dealing, and I felt bad for Liam at times because we didn't get a game stream of it, but the innings were so long in between. He had so much rest in between that you wondered if he could find the strike zone when he went back out because he got cold again.
Yeah, he was doing a really good job. At numerous times he was asking, I believe it might have been Caleb, to go down and play catch with him just because of those long innings. And that's something, our younger kids should take note of is, you're pitching and you've got those long innings where you guys are just smashing baseballs. You still have a job to do on the plate or on the mound.
Right.
And so staying loose, playing catch, you don't have to go full go, but play catch, get loose. It's important.
Stay ready.
Stay ready. And Liam was ready that whole game.
Definitely. And outside of one hit batter,
Yeah.
he would have had a perfect game.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he is kicking himself in the butt for that one, but
Yeah.
hey, They hit one of his dudes 4 times this weekend,
Right.
so he was bound to let somebody have it.
Yeah.
All right, so on to our next sponsor.
I'm in the house.
We don't have a ton of information on this. A new sponsor, but we want to say thank you to Benzinger Baseball.
Oh, yeah,
that
without
comes from Coach Todd Benzinger of the 8U team.
Yeah, 8U Nickting, fantastic. A lot of you probably know Todd from making the last out in the 1990 World Series, but if you get to know Todd, you'll know what an impact he has on these young kids' lives. He's a fantastic leader, he's a fantastic role model, and a fantastic coach. So we couldn't be more thankful to you, Todd.
For sure. And when I was talking to Coach Chappie before we went on the air, the Benzinger Baseball is a newer thing. I'm sure they're going to be doing a lot of outreach stuff.
Todd's an incredible human.
More to follow on Benzinger
Yes,
Baseball.
without a doubt.
So stay tuned for that. And thank you, Coach Benzinger. We really
without a
appreciate you.
doubt.
All right. So now we're going to just do a really quick rundown of the 16U teams. Coach Miller's team did make it to the field this weekend, but they were down at least 6 dudes, I believe, because of the OHSAA regional action and state playoffs.
Yeah. A lot of Baden kids, a lot of,
So they did. They
down?
went 3-1, I believe, on the weekend.
Yes. Lost in a walk-off.
It was that in the championship
I believe
game?
it was,
Okay,
yes.
So they got runner-up, but he wanted me to highlight Elliot Davis, who pitched 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs.
Yeah, big righty, Baden kid as well. Throws like 87. The kid's got a very bright future.
Awesome. And then Griffin Mueller hit 545. He was 6 for 11 with a triple and a 615 on-base percentage, which is huge.
Yeah.
Gavin Miller played. Apparently, he was flashing the leather up the middle.
That kid's got a glove for days.
Yeah, also hit 500. He was 5 for 10 with a 615 on base. He led the way with 6 RBIs, including a game-winning double in the quarterfinals. So Miller's guys are getting after it, and they're back in action this week, maybe with a few more subs still because they still got
I would
dudes
imagine
playing.
they probably do.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they have the Dayton Ducks, Milton Elite, and the Neo Dirtbags.
Yeah, I feel like they're playing at like Miami University. And
that sounds right.
Yeah.
I was looking up the information.
College field.
Didn't get it. So Coach Treadway, Coach Sullivan's 16U team is idle due to the OHSAA playoffs.
Yeah,
they actually started this weekend.
Yeah, they play this weekend in the same tournament our 15U National Scout team's in, the PG Ohio Valley Showdown. I get to coach those guys this weekend with Coach Treadway and Coach Sullivan with Baden. So I'm really looking forward because as we saw in the PG or the PBR rankings, that's a very special group.
All right, so now we're going to talk about some things before we move on to some really special 16U players who just got recognized. So this week at some of the PBR events, they had the PBR Bomb Squad. I guess these are dudes that are hitting home runs, just crushing balls.
Yep.
So from the 14U, I believe this is from Coach Phillips' team, the 2028, Rylan Osterberger.
Another Baden kid.
And Ryan Pavlisco.
Yep.
Both hit home runs, crushing baseballs.
Really good players. Those are impact players.
And then we had the 2029 young man that we talked about, the 13U from Coach Bland's team, Cooper Chili.
Yeah.
Another bomb for that young man.
That kid works his butt off, man. I know him and Coach John Sullivan have been putting in a lot of hours, and it's showing on the baseball field.
So way to put in the work,
done,
guys.
Fellas.
Way to work. Keep it up. All right, so now we want to highlight some of our 16U dudes who've been either highlighted in the most of them have been in the PBR rankings, couple PG rankings.
Yeah, out-of-state kids.
But these are our guys that are getting ready to start their junior year.
Correct.
They're going to graduate in 2026.
Yeah, these are 16U players, and many of you don't know, but PBR Prep Baseball Report Ohio, each Prep Baseball Report state ranks players, and we had a fantastic week as Legends, as it seemed like every 16U player we had was ranked. But in all reality, we, I believe, had 14 ranked players out of our 2 16U teams.
And I think they're going to be releasing the 27 rankings
The 27s come out next week, and even though we only have one team, I would expect we'll definitely have we'll be well represented.
Yeah. So first, Sean Sullivan, who I think got pitcher of the year in the conference that he plays in.
Yeah, and he's an Alabama commit. A fantastic player.
Right-hander. He's 6 foot tall. He's the number 4 player in the state.
Yeah.
He shows a 93-mile-an-hour fastball right now.
Yeah, he's
pretty outstanding, which explains why Alabama wants to get him down there in Tuscaloosa.
I would. Yeah.
Right. So the second player is Landon Thiel.
Yeah.
Is that how you say
big,
it?
tall lefty.
6'7".
Yeah.
What do you feed that guy?
I don't know.
Well, he's the number 12 number 12 ranked pitcher in the state with an 88 mile an hour fastball.
Yep.
You have Casey Miser, who's
another lefty.
Yeah, another 6'2 lefty. Again, these guys, I mean, every one of them are just, they get taller and taller and taller.
Yeah.
But he's the number 13 dude in the state with an 85 mile an hour fastball. My understanding, so on the PBR rankings, they were just showing their fastball, but I think these guys both throw pretty good breaking balls too.
Oh, without a doubt, high spin rates, and honestly, some of those numbers could have been from last, October.
Right. So they probably even picked up even more.
I would imagine both.
So Owen Mikan is a catcher and a right-handed pitcher.
Yeah. I believe he's the number one catcher in the state.
Yes, we have a few of those guys, and that's what I was going to say. So he's 6'3". He's the number 14 overall player, but the number 126 catcher in the state.
Yeah.
He's got a 187 to a 194 pop time. So that means he's getting the ball down to second base in a hurry.
Yeah. MLB type numbers.
If I'm not mistaken, is he a St. Ives kid?
I believe he is.
I could be wrong.
No, I believe that's right.
And Owen, if I'm sorry, I thought I read that he was a Cleveland St. Ignatius guy.
I believe he is.
All right, so that moves us on to the GCL Player of the Year for Moeller High School, who was just upset in the state playoffs by Mason.
Yep.
Connor Kuzo, third baseman, right-hand pitcher, again, was named GCL Player of the Year.
Yeah.
He's a 6'2" third baseman and right-hander. The number 6 in the state. He's got a recorded exit velo of 98 miles an hour.
Yeah. Absolute dude. I mean,
smash the
just
ball.
to be the GCL Player of the Year alone says a lot. But that kid was a leader. He is a leader. Works incredibly hard. And, I've said it a couple times, and I mean no disrespect. No disrespect to the 5 kids ranked above him, including our very own Sean Sullivan. But it's hard to imagine a kid had a better year than Connor Kuzo did this year.
Yeah, I mean, but you got to love it. You see these guys coming and playing for the same teams and competing and making each other better.
Yeah, that group is strong.
So the next dude I know plays for a couple different teams. He plays for Coach Miller's Legends team.
Yeah.
And then he also plays for the San Diego Padres Scout team.
Yeah.
So he does both. He's big-time pitcher, pitches for Baden, who's still in the playoffs.
Yeah. Good luck,
he just recorded a big win against Indian Hill.
Yep.
And that's Caleb Dreesen, 6'3" righty, 88 mile an hour fastball. Again, that was recorded
he's probably close to 90.
Right, and he's ranked the number 25 player. No doubt climbing that list really, really fast.
Yeah, he's got elite stuff, elite spin rate. Incredible kid,
he's
incredible
a great dude.
teammate. Yeah,
great dude. I haven't met a lot of these guys, but I have met him, and he's a great dude.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
So there's Matthew Mansberry, shortstop, right-handed pitcher, 6'3".
Giant kid, but I will tell you this: I got to know him a little bit when I helped Coach John and Coach Treadway in the fall, and that kid walks the walk.
Yeah, he's number 26 player in the state. He runs almost a 7-flat 60-yard dash, so he's getting down the line and turning the corner.
Yeah, once he gets moving.
He's got an 83 mile an hour infield velo, so across the diamond he's throwing at 83 miles an hour.
Probably a little hotter now.
So slinging it. And then we have another shortstop right-handed pitcher in Mason Springs.
Yeah.
He's 5'9", so a little bit different build.
Explosive bat, though.
But he's the number 27 guy. He's the one right behind.
Yeah, he's a high-level
right behind
player.
Matthew.
High-level player, high-level individual, which we're all about.
Also a 7-flat 60.
He can sling it.
And
He can.
Yeah, throws 80 plus across the infield. So those two dudes are playing on the same team, getting after it, and
they got another dude who's a shortstop too. We'll get to in a minute. Yeah,
you don't just grow shortstops on trees.
No, and we're apparently swimming in them.
Great. So now let's talk about this guy. He's the number 1 player in the state of West Virginia. He's a catcher and first baseman, and he also plays some third. This is Zayden Ranson.
Yeah.
And we got to congratulate him.
State champ.
So
baby.
he gets to wear that ring and rub it in everybody's face that doesn't get one.
Unless Baden gets one.
That's right.
Zayden is an incredible kid. I also got to know him a little bit in that same fall season. Zayden's a ginormous, big, strong kid. And just gives you everything, every play, every pitch. It must be nice to have the number 1 catcher in West Virginia and the number 1 in the state of Ohio.
Right.
Unbelievable. What a gift. But he's a fantastic kid. And congratulations on the state championship.
For sure. And we talked about this young man, the outfielder, right-hand pitcher, Josh Kalazzi. We had him last week. He was Illinois' Upstate 8, and he's a perfect game number 10 in the state of Illinois, I believe, as well. So just getting after it, getting recognized as an outfielder, which isn't always the easiest to do.
Yeah, but when you get to know Josh and see Josh play, it's hard to not see him Like he's just a special talent, special kid, fully confident in himself, like most of these dudes are.
Well, and these days, though, pitchers definitely get recognized.
Oh, of course.
Guys that are hitting bombs are always getting recognized, and I don't know how Josh hits, but I'm sure it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But to see an outfielder get recognized, like when these kids were younger, everybody always thought, well, it's a punishment to go to the outfield. That's where the dudes play.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see one get recognized,
yeah, he's a good
especially since he's a legend.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right, so the next guy coming up is a guy I know very well, Carson Niehaus.
Yes, Cars.
Big righty, 6'1", throws an 84, 85 mile an hour fastball.
Yep. I believe he ended up being around Baden's number 3 this year.
Yeah, so right now he's ranked 148 in the state. Now, I saw that and I was like, there's no way that Carson's ranked 148.
Right.
And I thought about it, and like you said, these numbers are all from September, October, November.
Yeah. Right.
I think if they redid the numbers right now with the season that Carson has had at Baden, he's easily in the top 100.
I couldn't imagine a scenario where he wouldn't be. His presence on the mound is he's got a lot of Caleb McComas, a lot of Liam McGady in him, where he just is up there to compete.
Yeah. And he also plays first base. He's got a good bat.
Yeah, he can hit, but it gets lost behind this because he's such an exceptional pitcher.
For sure. And now we got to talk about Brooks Treadway. So another guy that doesn't fit that 6'3" mold.
Yeah.
But gets done. Brooks is 5'8".
Yep.
I'm sure he'll tell you he's 5'10". At least I would, just because he plays big.
Oh, you better.
Another outfielder, right-handed pitcher, number 73 in the state.
Yeah.
And he's getting close to 80 mile an hour fastball. More.
Yeah, probably more now, I would say. And he's one of those kids that's location over velocity. But Brooks's value to the team is way more than on the mound. He's. Coach John talks about it a lot, that he's never seen anybody more clutch, and I would agree with Coach John. Anytime that Brooks comes to the plate and you need something to happen, that kid freaking delivers.
Yeah, and that's one of those unteachable tools. Yeah. You just got to have
I need those dudes.
Right, right. So, great job, Brooks. Let's go. We'll go on down the list to Aiden Sullivan.
Yeah.
Number 37 player in the state.
Yep.
He's 5'11", outfielder, third baseman. A recorded exit velo above 85 miles an hour. I think he was in an 86, 87 range.
Yeah.
So just smashing baseballs.
Yeah, and he's just one of those guys that has an elite hit tool. Dad's probably the best hitting coach around. In our opinion, he is the best hitting coach around. So he's got a little help there, but Dad's coaches can only do so much. This kid works his butt off, and it shows with that elite level swing. So it's to see at 37 is no surprise.
And again, that 37 was from months ago, so he's climbing that ladder.
I can't imagine a scenario where it's not.
And then last but not least, Kane Steffi.
Another elite middle infield player.
Another shortstop.
Yeah, he's a
right-handed pitch, 6 foot tall, number 42 in the state. This dude runs a sub 760.
Yeah.
So picking him up and putting him down, getting down the line.
Yeah.
And he has an 84 recorded infield velo.
Yeah.
So again, probably higher.
Yeah, I would
so
agree.
we talk about, like, I know in terms that some people would understand, Ellie De La Cruz throws at like 95 plus across the diamond when he fields a ball.
Correct.
This dude is a sophomore going to be a junior in high school, and he's throwing at 85. So,
right.
like, that's getting it done.
Yeah, without a doubt. And if you ever watch a kid play glove, like Mansberry, these dudes are just so elite in the way they move and stuff. These rankings are well deserved.
Right. It's super exciting for these guys. I want to say congratulations to all the 2026 guys. Keep climbing that ladder. Keep putting in the work. Keep representing yourself, your family, and the Legends the way you already are.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, a lot of the Legends, and we talked last year about, last week about the Legends and what we're about. Well, it was so important for us to have the Treadway scout team and the Reader scout team to begin our Legends journey, because we needed attention immediately as an organization to help our younger ages, and we got it. And then we added Coach Miller's team late in the year last year. They have 2 dudes ranked and probably have a few more.
And several banners up here, in the facility.
So to have those high school classes, one, be as elite as they are as players, and 2, to be the foundation for what we're trying to build for our younger guys, we couldn't be prouder of all of our high school.
Absolutely. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today's show. I do want to remind you, next week we're taking a show on the road. We'll be at the University of Missouri,
Yep.
live from some hotel lobby somewhere.
Yeah, probably. Hampton Inn or something.
Having some fun. So stay tuned. Be on the lookout for episode 3. I'll put out a schedule. And remember, always be legendary.
Yep, let's go. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Well done. Yeah.